Mic test. Mic test. Right. Just trying to see if technically everything is working fine or not, because some warning messages and whatnot. So give me 1 second. Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm almost half an hour late today. I'm not going to make any excuses again because I haven't been keeping time all week. But today's curated session about what's love got to do with it? Relationship yoga. Yeah. It's going to be with some stories, songs, and ideas about relationships. How we start them, how we maintain them, and sometimes how we end them. Or how relationships start, grow, and end. So, before we start, maybe a song. ये दूरियां इन राहों की दूरियां इन सांसों की दूरियां फना सभी दूरियां ये दूरियां इन राहों की दूरियां इन सांसों की दूरियां फना सभी दूरियां कोई पास है, क्यों कोई दूर, कोई न जाने यहाँ पर पास या दूर मैं जा रहा, मैं हूँ कहाँ पे जानू मैं। ये दूरियां, इन राहों की दूरियां, इन सांसों की दूरियां, फना सभी दूरियां। So as you were saying, today's topic or session is about how relationships begin and how they grow and eventually transition or end. So, if I were to again reflect and look at my relationships, I guess the very first one would be with my parents, with my dad and mom, of whom I became the child, yeah? And as I wonder, how did that relationship grow over time? Well, I grew, right? In my height, maybe some in width as well. As a child, as a baby, as a kid. But what about the relationship? If I were to think about, well, it began when I was born, right? But how did it grow? What comes to mind? Well, that's the same friend who called me yesterday at the same time, so sorry about that. So what comes to mind? Is along with that relationship that I formed with my parents, I formed a relationship with my grandma. Then I formed or began the relationship with my siblings, my brothers and sisters. And the relationship that started with my parents grew as the relationship with those around them. My grandma, my siblings, and others who stayed at home. With time and in that space. So when we look at relationship, I guess, or I realize, they start and grow with space and time. Whatever relationship we are going to grow in space and time. And with whom do we build these relationships or grow? Those around us. Like magnets. Getting attracted to each other. Getting attached as a family. And then maybe subsequently with friends who share a different space and time and at different times, yeah? Maybe in school or in the park where we play, or going on different excursions, yeah? The relationship grows. So what started as a relationship with my father and mother grew as a relationship with my loved ones at home. Then as the relationship with those at school and maybe neighborhood. So every relationship begins in space and time and grows with it. Until we ponder on that idea or realization, maybe a song. Is it getting better? Or do I feel the same? Does it make it easier on me now? Now that I got someone to blame. One love, it's one life. It's one need in the night. It's one you got to share it. It leaves me, baby, if I don't care for it. It's one. It's one. It's one. Have I come here for forgiveness? Or have I come here to raise the dead? Have I come here to play Jesus to the lepers in my head? Did I ask too much? More than a lot. I gave you nothing, that's all I've got. It's one, you got to share it. It leaves me, baby, if I don't care for it. It's one, it's one. made a lot of mistakes in that song there. Because I got lost in time. I was thinking about what I was going to do next. Where I was going to go next, after this session. So as we said, every relationship grew in space and time. Nowadays I think about my relationship with space and time. Which is, planning for the future in terms of next week, next month, next year, and what I'm going to do in that time and where I'm going to do it, the space part. So this is the planning part, which I constantly do, And then the other part is, what happened last week or last month or yesterday? Where did it happen? When did it happen? Who did what? So I learn from that or analyze that. Is the other part that I keep doing. One is the contemplation and the what ifs of the future, or in the name of reflection, going back and analyzing what happened, when it happened, with whom. So my relationship with time and space seemed to be of future and the past significantly. And it was only later that a realization dawned that everything was happening in the here and the now, in the present. My contemplations of the future were happening in the present. My analysis of the past also was happening in the present. But in overdoing those two activities, I was never in the present. I was either jumping from past to the future or future to past, or this or that, or here and there, but never in the present, in the now, right here, very few times. So as I was saying, relationships grew with time. As I went to school, my friends, then my teachers, my cousins, in addition to the siblings, parents and grandparents, etc. at home, It grew in space and time is what I said. But looking back, those relationships that continue today, that you can pick up where you left off, after 30, 40 years, right? You haven't seen your friend in 20 years, but you meet that person and you pick up exactly where you left off. How? I wonder. Till now, As I was speaking, the idea came those relationships that formed when I was young, out of ignorance, you may say, or not knowing, formed in the here and the now. And they helped me to be in the here and the now, in that moment. Playing or traveling or doing something or the other. But long story short, I was in the here and the now most of the time in my childhood. Very less of future and the past, because guess what? As a 5-year-old kid, you really don't have too much of a past, right? Too much of history with relationships or things or places or experiences. And the future is so uncertain because your decisions, most of them maybe are being made by your parents. So, very less concern about the future too, yeah? Which I guess enables a child, or when we are children, to do what we're doing in that moment. In the here and the now. So when we meet these individuals whom we bonded with in the here and the now, at this age, when there is history, when there is independence to make decisions and navigate the path of life, in these times when we meet those relationships which were formed in younger days or as children, it is by default we go back into the here and now in that mode. And that's why these relationships that were formed in the here and now, in which everything happened in the here and now, when we meet that person or meet that relationship again, all there is here and now. It's not going back in time or even harping on, what happened back then, which we might talk about. But the point is, wherever we may be, it's like an anchor to the here and now. Just enjoying the moment, even recollecting the childhood. So the relationships grow to a certain extent with space and time and those around us. But those relationships that enable us to be in the here and the now, we find them to be eternal, yeah? If that's the right word. Because you can go back to those relationships or meet those relationships and it feels like not a day has passed. Because you're in the here and the now with that person or those people or those friends. So the relationships with time and space that grow may eventually end or come to a conclusion, because let's say it's at work and you came together for a project for some cause and that was that, right? But the relationships that formed, be it at work or school or childhood, where you all enjoyed the moment. It might be hanging out after work or playing with your friends in school or neighborhood, where you were in the moment. That's it. And being with those people helped you to be in the moment. Those are the relationships that stay eternal, forever. Because every time you meet those people, you anchor into the here and now. maybe a song.
Space, oh my time, space, where you go, when you leave, the time and space. Now is where I'll be when I leave. The time when I leave the space. Touch in war, will I taste? What will I see? In what will I send when I leave? The time when I leave the space. Now you will see the songs in me, in you, in everyone and everything. The touch of the breeze, the taste of the rain, silent skies within. You will know the peace, love within you, within me. Truth in everyone and everything, in the now, in the here, in the now, in the here.
So as we were saying, the relationships that are formed in the here and now, or which enable us to anchor into the here and now, such as our childhood friends or those people whom we meet along the way as we grew in college, maybe at work, whoever enables us to anchor into the here and now. We find those relationships eternal, and we get pulled towards them forever. So on the same logic or idea, if I'm attracted and pulled to the relationships that help me to anchor and be in the moment, in the here and now, what's my relationship to the here and now? Is a thought, idea, that I pondered, only to realize that everything, past, future, this or that, everything is happening in the here and now. There's nothing else other than here and now. I exist in the here and now. So do you. So does the sun. So does the moon. So does the whole universe in the here and now. And if I am anchored in the here and now, be it singing, walking, working, studying, whatever it may be, if I'm anchored in the here and now, I have made a relationship that's eternal with whatever is in that here and now. Because in the past it used to be, my friends or doing certain activity that helped me to anchor into the here and now and gave me glimpses of what is eternal. But just anchoring into the here and now in whatever we are doing, to be in the moment, we realize every moment is eternal. Every relationship in that moment is eternal. Because you are anchored to the eternal, here and now. So, anchoring into the here and now, all I realized was every moment is just filled with love. Every relationship that is formed in that moment is filled with love. Sometimes happiness, sometimes sadness, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But everything is happening in the here and now. Sprouting from the here and now, if I may say, or from the love that's within here and now, and then melting back into the love that's within the here and now. So all I experience in the here and now is love with whoever is there, whatever is there. It's all love, anchored in the here and now. So the only relationship I guess we want to make, grow, and end with, let's say, or be eternal with, is here and now. Because even birth happened in the here and now. And going away or death will also happen in the here and now. But if I'm anchored in the here and now, maybe I'll understand a little bit or realize a little bit about what birth and death or any other experience is to the fullest. Because as we discussed yesterday, multiplication, division, born, dying, addition, subtraction. Everything is just a transition. With addition comes subtraction of something. But in the end, the net is always a constant. Similarly, birth and death, the net is always a constant. It's all happening in the here and now. Connecting yesterday's discussion to today. So nowadays, my efforts, if I may say, are to be anchored in the here and now. And how I do that, maybe after this song. My love, your love, all love, my love.
Smiles, tears, hopes, fears, all are born from this love. What I get, all that's lost, friend. Everything is meant to merge one day into love. I'm in love, you're in love, all in one love. I'm in love, you're in love, all in one love. Thank you for being here. And as I was saying, the one relationship, I guess, is being in the here and now. Because in that relationship, every other relationship becomes eternal, filled with love. So, how do you form the relationship, let's say, with here and now? How do you become one with here and now? How do you anchor into the here and now? Initially, it might be with, those loved ones around us. Then it might be listening to a song, or driving, or going for long rides, running. Yeah, it depends, different activities and different relationships that help us to give a glimpse of here and now. But then how to be in the here and now? Default. So whatever you do, you form the eternal relationship with whatever it is, filled with love. And like the answer to every problem and challenge or puzzle, the solution was right under the nose. It's the breath. The breath. If I am paying attention to the breath, I become a little bit more aware. And witness, the love that's all around in this moment. But how to get to that point? Well, every day I try to balance work and play, with family and friends. Not doing anything in extreme. Helps me to center. And being at the center, I guess, is being in the here and now, in this moment, in which I give my best, I guess, to whatever I'm doing. But then this or that happens, things happen, people I meet say something, do something, not per my expectations.
I react, or rake up the history, or go to the future of the fears and the risks. But when it comes to, the day-to-day, expressing what I feel and what I think is one part, but accepting whatever is coming my way, that's the practice, I guess, which again helps me to be centered and in the here and now. So balancing and then opening up and accepting. And after that, whatever happens and whatever comes my way, the last step, I guess, it would be to learn from every experience. With that approach, my attention, my mind, me, stay in the here and now. Come what may, open and accepting. Why? So I can learn from it. What will help me to be centered and in the here and now. Balanced. So I can give my best to whatever has come. It might be anger, it might be happiness, whatever it may be. But giving my best. So balancing, opening up, accepting, and lastly, learning from everything and from everyone on what to do and what not to do. So I can be in the here and now, giving my best. In love, with love, and for love. So every relationship that forms there, what comes and what is given, all one, I guess, experiences or realizes or exists in is love. And every relationship that's formed in this moment starts forming with love, for love, in love. Thank you for being here today, in the here and now. And I hope to be with you tomorrow, same time. And keeping my fingers crossed that I'll come on time and make this on time for tomorrow. But until then, you can always see the recordings or read the books at abhi.dhiyogi.org. That's abhi.dhiyogi.org. Thank you.